All right, y'all. Good afternoon. You know, the anticipation, I like that little countdown that goes on before we hit up live. And the anticipation, especially on my end, where I'm just kind of watching the seconds kind of count down 10, 9, 8. It's almost like New Year's Eve, right? So I'm yours truly, Dr. Barry Pierre, the co-founder of Autism Black. First of all, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're watching this, where you're at when you watch this. Exciting news as always. If you caught this week, you know that I am taking over my wife's social media accounts and we're going live, right? And why are we going live, right? Because we are in full promotion mode, right? So if you've been following my wife, which again, if this is popping up on your timeline, that means you are. You know, we are in full go mode for the 5th annual Autism Black Conference happening at the Palm Beach County Convention Center here in West Palm Beach, Florida, happening April 11th to 13th. But I did a little interruption. She wasn't really happy about it, but I had to interrupt her marketing, calendar to have my event, right? And not necessarily my event, right? It's her event. You know, her stamp's all over it, but I'm going to be hosting it, right? So I'm going to be hosting the first inaugural Boys, Men's, and Fathers Summit going down March 8th. It is a virtual summit. The tickets are free. Free. And why are we doing this? You may be asking. It's so that we can give people who may not have had the experience to join us for our first, second, third, or fourth Autism Black Conference a chance to get a sneak peek of what to expect for our 5th annual conference. Now, 5th annual conference, of course, again, let me just so she knows I'm not like the link to register for the 5th annual conference is autismblack.org/conference 2025. So if you want to register for the conference, it is autismblack.org/conference 2025. Now, if you want to register for the Men's Summit, it is Men's Summit. Remember, MENS Summit 2025. Now, that is a free event. Now, there is options if you want to join the VIP session. You want to be able to ask some questions directly to the speaker. You want to be able to have a nice little powwow after the event with me and my wife, Maria Davis Pierre. So there's an opportunity to get that. There's opportunity to get some show notes, conference notes as well. So you don't have to necessarily be there like writing notes as, our speakers are giving some amazing, information for you guys to take advantage of. So there's that option there. But if you just want to be able to kind of sit back, enjoy the event happening March 8th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., shout out to my Eastern, standard bias, right? And, let me take a time out. Appreciate all of my non-East Coast folks who check in on time when we do it at 8 o'clock. Sometimes they're checking in at 6 o'clock and 5 o'clock. We had one person for the conference was checking in that evening because they were that far a difference, right? So shout out to y'all. Much appreciated for, checking in when you can. So we are going to be having this 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, March 8th, hosted by yours truly. We're going to have some amazing speakers here. If you go to the page now, which we will do on this live, if you go to the page now, you'll see how we quickly register. We don't have the speakers updated yet, but I'm hoping by this weekend to have the speakers in their schedule updated. So you know exactly, hey, which time do I need to be really locked in? Especially if you're not getting the replays, because the replays are available for our VIPers, but not non-VIPers. So if you're not getting a VIP, you're just checking in, you got to be there live because, we're not going to have replays available. So it's going to be, get in where you fit in. But besides that, right, you'll have a good time. We'll have the schedule out. We'll have the speakers out so you know who's speaking. We do have pre-recorded sessions for the Men's Summit as well, what we've typically done in the past, and we'll have to run it by the boss to figure out, all right, what are we doing with our pre-record speakers, especially for those who register. I think I want to say we give you a time frame where you get some time to watch it a little bit beforehand, but then, we take the pre-records out, and those who get the VIP get access to the recordings for the live as well as the pre-recorded forever, right? So here and there, right? So you may be asking, why are we doing this summit, right? Like, why are we talking about the boys, men, and fathers, right? So if you had the opportunity to join us, I believe in October when we did the girls and women summit, it was such a great experience. One, because a lot of times when we talk about just autism, especially autism Black community, there's so many different things we got to attack or go after or talk about that it's sometimes difficult to kind of get a focus on who needs to be focused on. So we said, you know what? Outside of the conferences, which we do an amazing job doing, talking about the stuff we need to talk about for our conference, we are going to like really start saying like, hey, let's put a focus on the groups within the community who need a focus on. So we started, of course, with the girls and the women. Y'all absolutely killed it. And now we're moving on to the boys, the men's, and the fathers. What I like to call, especially for the father's sake, sometimes these silent heroes, the folks who are there putting in the work, giving the encouragement, giving the support. Sometimes they are the lead, but if you look online, it tends not to be the case, right? I think my wife's on Instagram answering questions. So a lot of times you don't get necessarily the fanfare, and I'm talking about the fathers. You don't necessarily get the fanfare that I know you deserve. So we wanted to make sure that we have this summit here really calling y'all out, right? Like, because even though when we did the girls and women's, right, of course we're shouting out the mothers, but a lot of times if you think about it, it's almost implied, especially in the autism community, that the mothers are there, right? Whereas this one, I wanted to say, when even on the title, I said, hey, you know what, I want to make sure that we specifically say fathers as well, so they know that I'm looking at them, right? Especially as a father and a husband. I'm a father of autistic children. I'm a husband of, with an autistic wife, right? Like, so I have, a very keen relationship with the Black autistic community, and that Black autistic experience kind of just, living off like my child and my wife's, right? So it's child and my children and my wife's. So it's very interesting to see. And that's why we wanted to kind of highlight and put the focus on the guys. But of course, obviously, we're talking about the boys, right? We're talking about the troubles that they have to deal with. We're talking about the men, especially when we talk about autism, a lot of times the act of transition doesn't get talked about, right? We talk about like, all right, when they're kids, and then when they become adults, like they kind of get forgotten of, right? And one thing within our community, we want to make sure that like, hey, we are with you, like from beginning to the end. Right. Like, I think that's where community kind of gets, our community, especially the autism Black community, kind of really gets separated, is that like, we're not here just for one segment of your life. And then like, hey, you're on your own. Right. And we have some amazing things planned. I'm getting into a little business. We have some amazing things planned, even on the forefront of that. Right. Which we will discuss at a later on. But more importantly, right now, there's about two things. First thing is the conference. Of course, let me put it on the screen. Let me put it on the screen because I don't want no one to be like, I didn't know about the conference. If you go to the summit, you're definitely gonna know about the conference because we're gonna talk all about it. autismblack.org/conference 2025. That is the registration page for the conference. Again, you have opportunity to get regular, and it is virtual, and it's a hybrid experience. So it's virtual and in person, right? So you can join us in Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, Florida, right, for the in-person experience. Or you can kind of like most people are doing, you can join us for that virtual experience. And y'all already know how we do with the virtual experience. So you have two options to be able to join us. There's VIPs, there's a platinum option. But more importantly, you get show notes done. More importantly, we're going to have some amazing speakers. Like I said, it's going to be the Autism Black experience. And if you've never had that experience before, if for somehow, some way in these past 5 years, the Autism Black experience has not touched you, we say, you know what, let's bring a summit so you guys can get a little bit of taste of what's going on. And that is at autismblack.org/men's summit, right? So let's take a look, because I want to go to the page, right? The registration page for the men's summit, just so you guys can kind of get familiar with what to expect when you get there. Let me get my screen going. All right, perfect. All right, so this is our registration page. Again, you're gonna come here. It says, and I'm making sure I'm stressing the fact that this is a free ticket. This is a free ticket, y'all. I don't want to hear, right, like, oh, I would love to go to you guys' conference, but I can't afford it right now. Well, come to the summit. Come to the summit. It's free. No excuses, right? So free virtual ticket here. Again, groundbreaking event, Black boys, men, and fathers. You can kind of watch this funny video that me and Maria got kind of discussing the conference. And as you can see, it is an option to get a free ticket March 8th at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, it says 15 days. There is a countdown there. Why is there a countdown? Because it's happening March 8th. So we're a little bit over 2 weeks away from the summit, right? And I'm very excited, for what's to come. And you guys will start seeing, obviously I'm doing the lives, but you guys are going to start seeing a lot of ads focused just on the summit as well, too, because, if you know the Autism Black way, you know that we like to promote heavy, right? And my goal, right, especially when I talk about promotion, because I sometimes have spirited conversations with the bosses, right? That our goal is so that you either so tired because you see our ads everywhere, or you're like, oh, I cannot wait to go, right? Either or, right? Like I don't want no one standing in the middle. No fence sitters here, right? So again, we give a little discussion on why this summit is for you, a groundbreaking event dedicated to exploring the unique experiences and needs of Black boys, men, and fathers, right? Happening March 8th from 8 to 5. And again, we're gonna, celebrating our and supporting our Black autistic boys, men, and fathers, advocacy, empowerment, community, and connection. That's always been a thing for us in our community. Let me zoom myself out real quick. One thing that's always been big in the Autism Black way is the focus on community and the focus on togetherness, and more importantly, the focus on empowerment, right? Like you can't see my shirt, but my shirt says "Empower yourself for better health," right? And as you know, I'm a physician, right? So empower yourself for better health. We understand that, especially with the forces that are out here today. If you're in the United States, the forces that are out here today, there are a lot of outside forces that are going to make it very difficult on our lives just to live, right? So now is the best time to get with a community, to get with someone of like mind who's ready to push us forward, right? And that's what we do here in the autism space here. Give me a second. So going back to our registration page again. Advocacy, empowerment, community connection, focus support. That's our thing. You click one of these buttons here, and all you got to do is give us your name, your email address, and your phone number. That way you can get text message reminders, right? Because there's gonna be some people, we don't want to call no one out. I don't even want y'all to call anyone out. There's gonna be some people who are gonna register and they're gonna kind of forget, right? They're gonna forget that day. They're gonna be busy. More importantly, life is just gonna happen, and we understand that. So we understand that that's going to occur, right? Life is going to happen, right? So we want to make sure that we're going to remind you when you register, hey, conference is coming, the summit is coming, the summit is coming, the summit is here. Show up to the summit. And it's beautiful because we actually have a Facebook group dedicated to the summit. And you guys are going to have the opportunity to see past attendees from the Women's Summit, right? So this is going to be something that just kind of continues to kind of grow, where we have our past attendees, our new attendees grow, building community. And if for those, and we'll talk about this when we get to the conference, if you want to actually join our community, right, we'll have an opportunity for that as well too, right? But again, I'm just here. Again, we are taking over my wife's social media profiles to promote the Men's Summit. It is happening. It is going down. We are very excited, but we are not forgetting about the conference, right? Of course, conference is number one, right? But I'd be lying if I didn't say I want to see everyone there, because this is what I want. I want everyone to check in March 8th, have an amazing time March 8th, and almost start the countdown for the conference, right? And we'll likely do something like that. We'll have a countdown to the conference. And right now we have early bird ticket sales for the conference. And these early bird ticket sales, I was able to convince her the early bird ticket sales will end the Monday after the summit, right? So we're stretching early bird ticket sales for a good amount of time until the Monday after the summit, right? Because I want to give people who have that experience of going to the summit to say, you know what? That summit was amazing. I definitely need to make sure I check in on this conference, right? Because if this is what they give, right, for the free, right, I can't imagine what me paying this ticket for is going to experience, right? And I can tell you it's going to be much more. It's going to be amazing, right? Let me make sure I don't want to miss anyone before I hop up out of here. Let's see. All right. Oh, so we had Contrella on Facebook says, okay, I thought it was a paid event. So the paid event is a good question. The paid event is the conference, right? If you join us on a conference, that's a paid event. The summits that we do are free. Summits are free, paid event conference, right? It's kind of our way of giving back, right? Because like how many of y'all, right? Like putting it in the comments, right? How many of y'all, I'm looking over here because my Instagram is over here. How many of y'all are patronizing, businesses, right? And you keep giving them money, and they never give you nothing for the free, right? Nothing is ever given to you, right? The only time they even look out for you is when Black Friday comes around. They're telling you about this discount. Christmas comes around, they're telling you about discount, right? But there's never nothing free. They're never giving anything for you. Those organizations, those businesses tend not to necessarily be for the community. They tend to be for themselves. And one thing that separates, Autism Black is that we are for the community first. We are here to serve the Black autistic community. So these summits, and we actually do, my wife has podcasts that should be start coming out pretty soon. Because I know she's busy recording. She does blogs. She does webinars. We do so many other things that we just say, hey, here, take it. Like, you can have it. This is for you, right? So we want to make sure people understand that, like, no, the summit is for you. The men's summit is for you. If you had a chance to catch the girls and women's summit, that's for you. That's for free. Just join in, click a button, you're in there. You want to join us for the pay? That's the conference, right? So yeah, but that is a great question, and I hope to see you there. I hope to see you there in our at the Boys, Men's, and Fathers Summit, right? Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So make sure. All right, Casey. I apologize if I'm saying it right. Thank you, Mr. Statistic. Support group would be great. Yeah, no, we are here. Like I said, it's one of our goals because, and again, my wife's not here, right? So I can do my rambling. She usually stops me when I'm rambling. My wife's not here, but I can ramble because she's not here. So what tends to happen, right? When we started out this organization, it was because our daughter was diagnosed with autism, right? My wife, she goes through a whole story of how she was able to do that, how no one listened to her, and all that good stuff. Like you gotta let my wife tell the story. But we noticed very quickly, like my wife's a therapist, I was a physician, that even us having the level of access that we thought we had, there was a lot of roadblocks. There was a lot of questions that we just did not know was out there. And we were telling ourselves, man, if we're having trouble getting access to services, if we're having trouble getting access to a community or trying to figure out what was going on, like we can't imagine what everyone else is doing. We just couldn't even like picture it. So that's what kind of started the ball of us kind of starting this organization. And as over again, it's been about 5 years since doing the conference, and every single year we meet families who say like, man, like going to that one conference, hearing that one lecture, getting that one lesson, going to that one webinar, like change my date, like change my month, change my year. It helped me be more confident when I go into these IEP meetings, helped me be more confident when I'm looking for resources. And that's really our goal, right? If we don't get nothing else, it's trying to find like-minded people in our community, right, who are going through the same struggles, who have went through the same struggles, and to try to help you navigate a little bit easier. So that's definitely the goal, especially with our organization and this community. And again, like I said, we do it with these events, whether it's webinars, whether it's these summits, whether it's the conferences. Like the goal is to continue to build upon and grow our community because it's a big community, but we're so disjointed. We're so disjointed that you wouldn't know it. So a lot of times you feel like you're the only person going through these IEP troubles. You're the only person going through these family struggles. You're the only person like hitting these roadblocks that you shouldn't be hitting. And you'd be surprised how many people kind of share your story. So I definitely hope to see you. Yes, definitely a lot of barriers, right? So I definitely hope to see you at the summit, right? Check in. Like I said, we're going to have a good time. It's a Saturday day. Like I said, and then, like I said, you're going to be in the Facebook group. There's going to be a lot of people in that Facebook group as well, too. So we're just excited to, continue to bless the community, and more importantly, get ready for the summit, and then the lead off to our conference. And then even though we're like in go mode for the summit and the conference, we're already thinking about what we have to do next, right? I'll y'all on live with me right now. we're thinking about doing a couple summit, right? Like we're trying to get it, like we're doing some things, right? So it's gonna be we're very excited for what's to come. I'm gonna get off because she's gonna tell me I'm talking too much. So y'all be blessed. Y'all have an amazing day. I'm gonna check in with y'all tomorrow. Like I said, we are taking over her social media platforms for the week. Might check in over the weekend as well too. Just to kind of continue promoting the men's summit. And then next week you'll start seeing a whole bunch of ads. So it won't even be a best kept secret. You'll just see like my face, my wife's face pop up everywhere about like joining, right? So make sure if you're not joining, if you're not already on her list, make sure you join the list. Check her link in her bios for any links for the website, autismblack.org. If you want to register for the summit, again, it is below Men's Summit 2025. And if you want to register again for the conference, we never want to forget about the conference. It is Conference 2025. Perfect. All right. So y'all be blessed. Y'all have an amazing day. Tomorrow's Friday. Y'all have an amazing day, and I'm gonna see y'all later.